this is a $10,000 e-commerce site that I built entirely with Gemini, ChatGPT, Anti-Gravity, and VO3. I'm going to show you exactly what I did, process I used, and the tools that I used to actually build this site. I mean, even if you don't look any further, you can tell that this site is badass. It has some high quality items, and it is a unique design to this brand. It's also a new brand. It's just a brand I created, so this is not an existing brand whatsoever. So if you want to build a site on this level, then just keep watching the video and I'm going to show you how. AI is actually getting crazy and I'm super excited, but let's start. We're going to be creating a women's lifestyle premium clothing brand, and I went with this name, Sieva, and just went with this logo. It was kind of one of the first ones that it generated. And then I also did a mood board. Now, a little tip if you use ChatGPT, instead of trying to extract colors for your brand, go with a mood board, because then it gives you very good contrasting colors. And on top of that, you get a mood board that kind of visualizes what your brand is going to feel like and be like. So it's super helpful, especially for when generating websites with AI. Now, I've generated 2 product images so far. We're going to do 6. We're just going to populate it with 6. And we're just going to use AI for everything. I've also populated, or I got an image of our brand kind of lifestyle for one of the wireframe pieces. And then also for the hero section. So this is the hero section image. I just use AI to create something that matches our brand and obviously has our branding in it. It's not perfect, but you get the gist of it. So now we have to kind of create the prompt. And the most important part, especially when creating a website with AI, is giving it visualization, giving it prompts that have visualization in the word. So instead of saying, hey, we offer premium services, we offer services that are Rolex level quality, because those are obviously premium, right? Those are kind of exclusive, but you get the gist of it. So you want to give it visualization in the text and images, and you obviously want to give it context. So I'm going to attach here all the images that I want to use. So we've got the logo here. You can only attach 5 images at once. Got the mood board, and we have got one of the sections that I'm going to generate in this website. I'll only start with 4 for now and then populate the rest, but let's get started with the prompt. So there we have it. I've created my prompt. It is quite a lengthy prompt. I literally just freeball it. I speak to it of my thoughts and what I want the website to be like. I didn't do too much, but we'll see what it produces basically. But what you must realize is AI really does perform when you give it images that it can follow, and then obviously code to support it. It will do really well. So if you were to actually build a website for your business, I'd recommend getting a designer to build out of Figma, taking that code, putting it into here and the images, and it will build out that site pixel perfect. Now, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to generate some other product images because I want to populate with 6 images. Okay, I want you to now create a product that you can kind of put over your tank top in a sense for summer. So it's like an overlay of the top. Maybe you got back from the beach, maybe like a knitwear type thing that they can have. I'm not sure exactly, but develop something that some, women could put over themselves if they were maybe a little bit cold in summer or just wanted to block out the sun, and also just wear something breathable and comfort. Once that's done generating, we populate the next image. Okay, those shorts do pretty well. I like the tag. I like the branding. So we can just keep that. Now I'm going to line up the next prompt. Okay, so we got 3 products so far, and we want to do 6. The website is still going. It's still generating. It does take a bit of time, and we pretty much just sit here in silence waiting for it to generate. Actually, I might as well do just 8 products. Why not? Have some winter wear and summer. Okay, our website is still running. Now what I want you to do is generate an image of a hoodie, oversized hoodie for more winter wear, okay? And then I think we generated 1 more piece after that. I think that was the 6th one. Now I want you to create another pair of tracksuit pants, a completely different design. Okay, we've got the hoodie. That will do. And then now what we do is we just get 1 more piece of tracksuit pants and we should be good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yep. The one thing that I told you about is if you don't give it image references for it to kind of take and kind of apply it, it will struggle a lot more because it doesn't really have much place to pull context from. Obviously it has Google, right? But it's limited towards design. So the initial first design that we'll get won't be blow you out of this world. It will have good functionality and a good base, but you will have to use your knowledge to customize it to the way you want and to obviously make it better. So AI kind of relies on you and your ability to be able to create an amazing website. It only allows you to create that website 10 times faster. I actually did make a little bit of a mistake. I was supposed to have the model set to planning before, running the task, but I sent it to fast. So that might be an issue. Okay, so it seems that it is done. I can now run the server. Let's take a look here. Let's run it and let us see what it looks like. Okay, so as you can see, it is definitely broken, but that is not a problem at all. Okay, so now what we do, let's see if we can plan a little bit better with these prompts and operate a bit quicker. Okay, so this is what we were left with after we fixed the broken design. Obviously, there's definitely still some issues as well, and the design is just not quite there yet. So I need to create now a new prompt on what I'm going to change. Okay, so now that we've got another prompt, hopefully this one can now refine our design to make it a little bit better and, work upon what we've built. We've built the structure. Listen, without a Figma design, you will not get the pixel perfect version that you want without any context or reference image. Remember, it's hard for it to come up with new ideas. You are the idea merchant. So you've also got to pull, ideas from other websites, basically. So that's also a part of the job, is sourcing websites, which, in speaking of, is what I'm about to do. So I'm going to use Gemini here. Now I'm going to ask it to find me some women's lifestyle clothing brands with premium websites. Just spelled that a bit wrong. So if you just ask Gemini to actually find you some of these things, then what we'll be able to do is go to those websites and kind of see the structure that they're using, because they are... So what this will allow us to do is obviously find brands that are already doing well and have spent money into their website, so that they know what works as well, because we're trying to create a money printing e-commerce site. We're trying to actually get cash and build our brand from the website, because that's kind of the forefront, especially for an e-commerce. So we need to make sure that it's well planned out and well structured, and the design kind of fits the brand, because e-commerce is competitive. So we got to make sure that our brand is of noteworthy. And I see we found some brands. So we got Skims here, we got that brand, we got that brand. So we can actually just take a look at what they're kind of introducing in their website. It's a pretty simple website, okay? So that's obviously, so they very visualized in their website, not much text whatsoever. Let's take a look at these people. So they obviously got men and women's, and they're also very blocky, very visual, very easy to see the product that they want. You can kind of see the structure that most of these websites actually follow. Oh, now this is the one that I think is more aligned with what we want. So out of this whole website, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot of this section right here, because I like how small and simple it is. And I'm going to apply this to my subscription section on the website. So I'll just have to keep it in there. I'm not going to screenshot anything else. Okay, so AI actually delivered something it's getting there. Finally, we are getting somewhere. There's still obviously a few visible changes that need to be made, but things are coming along nicely. I like the vibe that's going on. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Okay, so it seems we have our latest version, and it's honestly getting way better. So we have the shop, we have the logo. I want to see the two people in the hero section image, so we should bring that down a little bit more. Also, the title is going a bit into the header, so that needs to be brought down slightly more. But I'm liking the titles. Obviously, I changed the titles to more the on-brand font. I also think the title should be in line with the sliders for the images. And the slider seems to be a little bit broken, so we need to change that. And in terms of the membership thing, it's looking a little bit better. There's definitely changes. I think we should add a button to obviously a call to action, and it's not using the background that it should use. So we need to change that. And then the footer, I like the footer a lot more. I like the design. I like the granular background texture that is subtle, but it's definitely there. Now, if we take a look at the collection is getting better. As you can see, there's some hover problems, but it's getting there. It's not bad at all. Then we obviously got view products because we have none there. Our account is looking decent. Now let's take a look at the checkout. I wonder if the checkout's going to be, if I can. Okay, so the products aren't allowing me to add a cart, so that also needs to be fixed. Few changes, but we are definitely getting there. I then ran into a slight problem with the website, so I had to put it in a debug mode because the animations have got quite complex on the website that I actually, well, we had to kind of test what was the problem exactly, if it was the React that was failing, if the React is working, etc., etc. So we put it into debug mode, and figure out whether React is working or not, so we could actually find out the cause of the issue. But eventually I did figure it out. It's just my animations have gotten quite complex that things were struggling to load and some things were crashing. Okay, so after some generations, we are kind of at this now. So we've got the sand graduals in the button. We've got the hover effects for add cart. Those are finally working. Cart hover icon in the top right's working. I also wanted to implement a swatch system, which I did, but it's not working, as you can see, functionality. And then obviously make that conditional logic actually applied to the cart. And I'm thinking we just make the cart like a pull left, and the bundle's working, the collection, and then you can see the subscription section's a bit broken. So I think the steps that I'm going to take is just design the subscription section to be a bit better, and then make sure that the swatch functionality and the account system is all working. And then obviously when I go to tops and shorts and summerwear, it says not found, and then we can focus on the collection page. Now you might be thinking also, why am I not using any parallel agents? A parallel agent is basically, it's not something you can continuously prompt because it's going to have bias towards its previous context, right? So it's something that you use for a specific element to, design or build, right? And it's more of a complex system. So for some things it's a bit overkill. So what I mean by this is I'm not going to use a whole setup of, let's say, a generator agent or a critique agent, and then that agent to redesign a section. I'll only do that if I actually have no idea on what I want to implement and how the functionality should be and how we can make it more unique. So I would rather, as you can see, I just start fresh, and then I still have chats. You can see it's still made its own agents, right, when building this website. But I'd rather just speak what I want it to be done, and then it'll go ahead and do that. And I'll switch between Claude and Google Pro. So obviously help with UI and then help with backend. But since this is an e-commerce store, there is a lot of UI that needs to come into this, so it's mostly Google Pro, right? And I want the UI to come out how I want it, so I don't want the limitations of an agent in a sense. That being said, I am going to use an agent to now the cart system, and then also the subscription section. But let's go ahead and actually make these changes. Okay, so what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to use ChatGPT to give me an e-commerce UI agent, and then I'm simply going to go into my agent manager and I'm going to paste this here. Now we're going to want to use Google Pro to do this. So starting a new conversation, and it's going to now create kind of a plan, or it's going to create first, its role and understand its role. Then please maintain this context. I'm ready for your task. So now from here, I'm not going to give it straight things. I'm going to talk to it. I want you. So that isn't working. So I'll put the change. There we go. Okay, so we've got our plan here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go back to the builder, and I'm going to give it the plan that we got specifically for the Siava collection section, which is the subscription section. I'll give it that, and then I'll go ahead and just copy this section so long. And then I'm also going to develop a plan for the cart system, the UI on that. Okay, so we can see that it is actually designed this section now a bit different. So it says join the collective, $15 per month. You can see it's got more hover animations and it's got in-store credits to join the Siava collection. Do I like this section better? It's obviously more visible, right? I definitely want that membership card though. That membership card I would like to kind of bring back. I liked the UI of that. So I'm definitely going to bring that back, but I'm liking kind of the direction this is going. 2 changes we need to make. On the button, before hover, you can see black text and slightly a background. So I like the hover color, but the button's, default color needs to be different. And it also needs to be a color you can visually see. On top of that, I want the icons in the benefits to be a bit more unique. And I want that box to stretch a bit wider and reduce the height slightly and include a membership looking card. We had it previously. It was like, I want it to be like a metallic, exclusive, high quality premium card for the membership in a sense. So I want that pairing visual with inside this box, and that will be to the right, and this text can be on the left. And as we can see, it has implemented the new design. I am really liking those few changes. So you can see the collective, the membership ID, Now we just got to make this unique branding in a sense. But the icons are unique. They're brown. They have that glow. I really like that. The button is now our normal button. So I like that as well. So now the only change that I'm going to make is just to the card. And I think this is really good. I need you to... So for the buttons in the subscription and the hero section, you need to change the default color text, the green background. You know, the green background? I think you need to change the border and the text to black so it's more easily visible, because it's hard to see white and the green. For the membership card, I needed to have our branding. So I just want our logo in the middle. I don't want a valid through. I want a tagline in the top right that says part of the community and say our logo in the middle. But now let's focus on the UI of the cart. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sub agent. It's just a UI agent to make sure that everything functions properly. And then what I'm going to do is focus on the cart. So no code, no architectural refactoring, plain language. I want you to change the cart to be slightly more on brand to our lifestyle premium women's brand, that actually just, it has more kind of to it and more understanding. Maybe make the prices a bit smaller, and I'm not sure how else you can change the design, but I feel like it's just a bit lackluster and it needs something to it. So it's just going to go ahead and design this thing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a development agent on ChatGPT. We've got the plan. So now what we do is we need to get the development agent right here. Let's see. So we got the development agent. Now we're going to go into the new chat. So if we just open the slide here, we're going to go new chat. You are now a developer. Now I'm going to take the e-commerce plan. Take this. I want you to make it a right pull, like pull left, like a pull up instead of a pop up. So you know how we have white space or blank space above, to the bottom, and to the right? Because it's a pop up, right? It's a pop up aligned right. I wanted to just pull out from the right. So less of a floating pop-up, if you get my meaning. So now we're going to give it these changes. It has the redesign. I have development core principles. I await your tasks, instructions. So now he is going to implement the plan that we had for the cart and the cart functionality to make sure that we get this right. And then I don't think we need any more agents for the rest of the site. Now we can just kind of go with it. But except for maybe the collection page. Now it's just a few things that we have to change. Okay, so now what I think we do is we implement the load animation. So it's implemented. Let's see if we refresh the site. How does the load animation? So that's pretty cool. So every time you load the website, you get this met with this animation. That's pretty cool. But we want to have something that kind of loads into the screen. So we need to have some sort of animation that goes into the website. And it needs to flow better. So I'm going to go back into CapCut. I'm actually going to replace the video. And then at the same time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run one of my other development agents to focus on getting the functionality for the account working. I mean, let's say we are a user and we wanted to explore the website. We just went on, we got met with this wave, pretty on brand. Then we wanted to explore a product. Let's say we went shop. Then we thought the Breeze tank top would be nice. Then it took us to a single product. And as you can see, there's breadcrumbs that are fully functional. Go back to the website, has the price, has the title, has working selectors for sizes and swatches, has products on the left. So it's kind of like stays in the same place. And obviously you can see a full view of its image, its different images. Then it's got that amazing animation for the add to cart that we have globally, basically. And you can add to cart and it adds to cart. The only thing that I have not done is the checkout, simply because, yeah, I'm not going to be integrating in this video, because let's say you wanted to integrate something, let's say you just search Shopify, an API, and you'd go to Shopify dev documents and you'd grab some APIs that are necessary. Let's say you were using one of your pay softwares, I don't know, maybe Stripe. You'd grab a Stripe API. You go Stripe API allows pretty much all major softwares have a development side where you can grab APIs from. And if you're struggling with it, you can just ask AI to help you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're pretty much done with this website. There's a few more changes that need to be made, but everything is coming along nicely. The button, got that grainy effect, is super cool. We got the view all products, the slider, icons have changed a little bit. The swatch system has also changed, so it actually changes to specific colors. Obviously, it's a different item, but we don't have many items. This is all working. You know, if you add to cart, that works. Checkout. Now, add bundle also works. We've got the collection, that all works. The subscription section, that is working as well, which is amazing. Obviously, it's a bit more unique in an e-commerce site, right? But everything is working really well. And I've loved how the design of this is coming out, actually. The shop, I've also changed a few things around. Instead of just text filters, I've gone for visual image filters. And same system for the swatches. Everything is as it should be here. It's big blocks because I prefer that. And even the account has got working functionality. The design could be a little bit better, but you know what? It doesn't matter for now. And the cart, I also did remap it because I wanted to create something more unique to this brand and something more visual and bigger. So I just created this, and I just decided to center the products in the cart, which I thought was pretty nice. All the navigation is working. You know, all of this navigates to its respective areas. And then all that's left to do really is fix some subtle change. Literally all you had to do is fix the checkout section and it is pretty much done. Obviously you can implement more sections, but it's not necessarily. We're trying to prove that you can make a $10,000 e-commerce site with anti-gravity basically. And there's also this animation that I included on the website as well. It's pretty badass. I created it with VO3 and then implemented it. It has got an animation sound. I think it might do. I'm not too sure. I don't have my volume on right now. But yeah, pretty cool animation. I think it's badass. The only thing that we have to do now is kind of integrate your softwares and your tech stack into this, right? And all you kind of have to do is get the APIs of that software. And then you'd also have to build some UI out, but for Shopify, they have APIs. If you use your payment software, they probably also have an API. You can get APIs. It's fairly easy. So you need some technical skill, but it's not, generally speaking, not that hard. This is probably the hardest process, designing something with AI. Now, in terms of, I know there's a lot of people talking about parallel agents and that sort of type of thing and getting the most out of anti-gravity. Now, for this, there's some settings that I could have done that I didn't want to include. But in terms of parallel agents, I did use some. And as you can see here, I've got quite a few. And I had 3 running at one time. No more than 3. Never run more than 3. It helps save time. But one tip I do want to leave you with is, if you are running parallel agents, they are supposed to implement a specific task. So you can't use it to constantly, prompt something in a certain way. For example, I can't build the whole site in one agent. I can, but it will take longer is what I'm trying to say. So if I were you trying to start it out, prompted to say, hey, you are UI agent, and then I'd build an overall overview. And then I would just use that agent constantly back and forth, not a parallel agent yet, to get the vision that you want and the design you want, because you're the designer. This doesn't work unless you are really knowledgeable in terms of design or kind of have a direction of how you want to go, right? So you just constantly go back and forth it. And then if you hit a roadblock, then use a parallel agent. It will help you out. And it was also good to start new agents sometimes just to help out with the design. I mean, it's pretty simple. In approximately I've pretty much built the base. All I would have to do now is I could add some new sections, and if I added new products, it wouldn't be that hard to populate whatsoever. So, but if you found value in this video and you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel. I hope to release more. The next website that I am going to be building is a portfolio website, because I am building an e-commerce site for my mother, not with AI, and I need to create a portfolio website, so hopefully I can get some referring business from her website. So check that out in the next video.